Hi, good evening, folks. In this video, I want to go over some personal stories, personal hockey stories of my lifetime that mean a lot to me, as we all have, just for a little fun. Coming up. Okay, try and keep this brief, guys. Just something I came up with. I've been wanting to do, just to get a little personal, maybe. And I think we all have stories, and I think this will make a fun for everybody after posting their own stories, you know? So I want to go over, I wrote down 7 stories, which I'll keep them all brief, but these are just stories that happened in my life and bring back a lot of memories. So I'd like to go over some of them with you, and bear with me. It's not all Buffalo related, but a lot of it is also, you know, in the end. Well, I don't even know if it's the end. There's a few. Anyway, I'm going to go in the lineage of when it happened. So the first story I got, this happened in 1970, okay? Now this was, this happened to my mom. It wasn't me, but it was a real legend in the house after for years. And what happened in this, this story, my mom was a nurse for over 40 years. And she was at work one day, and there was this old gal, this old patient, that used to claim that every time she'd be on the phone, the staff would say, "Who are you talking to?" You know, because it was just different in the early 70s, right? I mean, it just was different. She's on the phone, on the rotary phone talking. She goes, "Oh, that's John Beliveau. We were just talking." And they're like, "Okay, dear, okay." So for many weeks, they kind of just put up with this old lady that claims she used to talk to Jean Beliveau regularly. And as fate would have it, the old gal took a turn for the worse. And then she was on the phone that day, and she goes, "Oh, Jean's coming by to see me today at the hospital," you know? So, you know, they're all like, "Okay, dear, okay." No, they didn't buy into it, right? Wouldn't you know it, in walks in Jean Beliveau with flowers, a monster flowers for the lady. Not only did he come see her, okay, guys, he stayed with her the whole day, right to the evening, had dinner with her. And before he left, he actually took another half an hour to hang with the staff, which my mom was part of. And that's how I know the story, you know. And I thought that it's one of those great hockey stories for me, you know, as a kid, you know, when I heard this. And yeah, he actually took the time after he spent all the time to take more time with the hospital staff, thanking them for taking care of this lady who, and everybody was in shock, like, "Oh my God, she wasn't lying." You know, it's just one of those things. But I thought that was a really cool story in my lifetime. All right, there's 7 of these. So number 2 was Bernie Parent. Some of you know some of these stories, by the way, but Bernie Parent, my dad had a way with, this was in 1972, the way I've calculated the years, I'm sure it was 1972. And I remember the apartment we lived in. So anyway, so my dad had a way with hockey players. He just wound up getting drunk with them and hanging with them, because it was like that in the 70s. It really was. It wasn't like now, where if you touched their car, you were in a lawsuit. You know, it wasn't like that back then. Back then, you'd run into Guy Lafleur and, "Hey, let's have a beer." Like, it's just the way it was here in the city, especially, you know. As great as that Montreal team was, they were very down-to-earth guys, too. And my dad somehow managed to get drunk with Bernie Parent, bring him home. My mom lost her mind, completely lost her mind, tossed them both out. And all this happened while I was asleep, folks. And we all know 2 years later, the expansion Philadelphia Flyers won the Stanley Cup, broke the barrier, Parent won the Conn Smythe, the whole shebang, you know. And I missed meeting him because my mom was angry. Oh, God. Yeah, you know, one of those things in life, man. I would have liked to met him, you know. Okay, number 3 for me was really a big one. And I got the date on this because I checked it up online. This was February the 15th, 1975. Yes, the year the Sabres knocked out the Habs too, eh? And I went to my first hockey game that night. And Buffalo, the Habs hammered the Chicago Blackhawks 12-3, destroyed them. It was ridiculous. I'll never forget it. And Cornway that year was in a slump. Yvan Cornway was in a slump. And I remember I was watching as the players were warming up, and I noticed Cournoyer skating. I was like, God, is this guy fast? You know, God. And he had a career game. He scored 5 goals that night. I don't know what he had in assists. I think he had a few assists too. But I know for sure he had 5 goals, or was it 6? I think it was 5, but I'd have to check it. But the point of that isn't that story. It's this, is that Guy Lafleur was injured. Yeah, the Habs won 12-3 without Guy Lafleur, you know? Good God. And Lafleur at this point is the best player in hockey. He is, at this point in 1975. And I look behind the door and I'm like, oh my God, you know, like when you're like 12 years old, or what was I? Would have been 12 or 13, 12 or 13. Well, I think it was 12, yeah, 12. And I look behind the door and I see, and back then, yeah, there was English signs allowed back then in Montreal. Sad, you know, but anyway, I don't want to get into that part. Behind the door, there's Guy Lafleur with his cast. Positively no admittance, not allowed in, you know. So my dad goes, no, come on, we're going to go in, and, you know, I know Guy, and he'll talk to you, and he'll give you an autograph. Da, da, da. So my dad and I are walking in. I walk in, and I look behind me. My dad's gone. Like, he cowered it away and left me there. Anyway, so I just went up to Lafleur, and I didn't say much. I just went like this. He just took it and signed it. Said, enjoy the game. You know, like, it was really cool. But, I mean, I couldn't believe I was meeting, as a kid, you're meeting the best player in the game. It's pretty intimidating. It was, you know, it really was. So that's my number 3 story. Number 4, one of my favorites. Yeah, again, this was in 1990 or 1991. Now, I'm not sure exactly when, but I've nailed it down because I looked at Rob Ray when he started, and it had to be right around in his early years. It had to be. Bottom line, I got sober in 92. I was drunk that day. It had to be 91. So get this. I go to this Buffalo game. Sabres are in town playing the Habs. And folks, in Montreal, you don't wear another jersey of another team and think you're going to walk out alive. You might not. But here's the thing. I know how it works out here in this city, you know? When you're wearing a jersey that says Perreault, you're safe. They love the French Connection in Montreal. You're safe. You're good. You know what I mean? And so in this game, all right, this is all I remember of this game, folks. The Sabres are playing, it's an aggressive game. Montreal-Buffalo was an intense rivalry. It was in the Adams division back then, you know. And anyway, in this game, Rob Ray goes crazy. That's why I'm thinking of Rob Ray. I said, oh God, I got to mention that. I better not forget, you know. And Rob Ray goes crazy. He's bare-chested. He's just beating up somebody. The fans are booing them. He's like going like this to Canadian fans. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm loving this, eh? And then, okay, he goes to the Habs bench and he challenges all of them to come on the ice and fight him. The whole bench, not just one guy, the whole bench. He went up to them. He's like, come on. And he went to all of them. And you know, Rob, when he walked around the ice, he'd always be doing that thing with his head. You know? And anyway, so I used to know in the Forum where to go to see the opposing team's dressing rooms, because I'd always go there because, you know, when the Sabres are in town, I'd go and whatever, see the Sabres come out. Not bug them for autographs, though, but I would never do that. I just wasn't one of those fans that bugged for, not that there's anything wrong with it, I just wanted to see them, you know? And so out comes Rob Ray, and he's still doing this thing with his head as he comes out of the dressing room. He's guy's nuts, right? And I remember I go, kill them all, Rob. And he looks at me and he's going like, and his girlfriend goes, oh, please, don't tell him that, please. She thinks he'll take it literal or something. Still a very fond memory, folks. Oh my God, man, that was a fond memory. God, I wish I remembered who we fought that night. I don't remember. I just don't remember. And I checked, it couldn't have been Chris Nyland. So I just don't remember who he fought that night. But whoever he fought, he beat up. Then he threatened to kill the whole Habs bench, and he's like giving it to the fans and everything. It was just beautiful. It really was. All right, number 5, 1991, meeting Bobby Orr. I'm pretty sure it was 91. I'm 99% sure it was around the same time of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And that was when my little daughter was little, a woman. And I was with her mom, her late mom, and we were there, and we waited for hours to get our picture taken with Bobby Orr, which was exciting. It really was. And I watched how this man handled the crowd and handled the ladies and handled the older people. And my God, was everybody impressed with this guy. God. And he took the time out to talk to you and shake hands, and he laughed and he made jokes. And we also got the autographed picture. I think it was Sincere Best Wishes, Bobby Orr, you know. And it was, and he marked our names on it, you know, even April's name, my daughter. And sadly, that got lost when her mom and I broke up. I don't know whatever happened to it. Hopefully, maybe her family has it out west. I don't know. I just don't know. I'd like to get it back, you know. But yeah, it was really, it was really something to meet another icon, you know. That I never thought I'd meet him. You know, it was just one of those days. I go, what's going on here? You know, it was just at my local video store. It was a big video store, though, folks. It was big, you know. And everybody's saying, oh, Bobby Orr's here. He's signing autographs today. I'm like, what? You know, I didn't even hear nothing about it. Yeah, good memory. Number 6, Cammi Granato. Cammi Granato, when she played for the Concordia Stingers here in Montreal. And it was in 1995 or summer of 94. My guess I'm guessing it was 1995. I'd have to, you know, I'd have to look back at her career. I'm pretty sure it was 1995. It was in the summer, and March, April, May, June, July. It might have been 94. Might have been 94 also. It was one or the other. Anyway, Cammi Granato, I didn't know much about the USA Women's Olympic Hockey program or nothing at the time. And she had told me she's from the States and she's training here in Montreal and getting prepared for that 1998 Nagano Olympics, you know? And she filled me in a lot about women's hockey, and it was very interesting. She's very, very nice. That's the thing I want to bring up Cammi Granato. What she used to do, her and her teammate used to come by and pick up my daughter when they knew I was raising my daughter on my own, not only to give me a break, but so they'd have some female contact, kind of, you know, some womanly contact, which, you know, of course I couldn't give her. And it was really, really, really sweet of her, you know. And she was so down to earth. Folks, she was so nice, this girl. I knew she was going places just by her personality, you know, if anything. And when I watched the Nagano games, I was happy for her, you know. I was. Because I remembered how nice she was. You know, she was really, really nice with my daughter. And she used to come knock on the door, not too hard even. She'd tap lightly, say, is it okay if we can take April swimming? I said, yeah, because we had a pool in the building. And yeah, that's one of those things where if I ever run into her again, she might not remember me. She might, you know, but it would be nice to thank her now that my daughter's like, you know, 33, you know, so it's like, well, mate, yeah, my God, my daughter's turned 34. Jeez, let's move on before another year passes. And my final story, okay, this one was huge, folks, for me, and it would be for any one of you. My accountant, when I had a company years ago, back years ago when money was a lot better in my life, had told me, he goes, Wayne, I got a surprise for you. I go, what? He goes, Gilbert Perreault's going to call you. I said, oh, please, Gilbert Perreault's going to call me. He goes, Wayne, Gilbert Perreault is going to call you. I said, yeah, okay. Okay, Robert, okay. Folks, about a week later, Gilbert Perreault left me a voicemail. I'm like, what the hell? And, you know, and this is the honest truth. It took me a week to summon up the courage to call him back. I swear. What am I supposed to say? Hey, Gilbert, it's Wayne. How you doing? Like, you know, yeah. I don't know how I couldn't understand how he swung this. I said, how the hell did you do that? Why? He goes, Wayne. He goes, you've helped a lot of people get their lives together and sobriety and all this stuff. And you know what? That's a duty. It's a pleasure to do. That's why, helping others and all that in that part of my life is just, it's a pleasure to do. It's not work. It's a pleasure. And he goes, it's time somebody does something for you. Anyway, get this. Gilbert Perreault calls me. So I let my mom hear this voicemail, and she goes, oh, isn't that nice? I go, Mom, do you know who that is? And she goes, yeah, it's one of your customers or something. I said, no, that's Gilbert Perreault, my hero, number 11 on Buffalo. She goes, oh my God, she didn't catch on at first. And she goes, Gilbert Perreault? I said, yes. I call him. He picks up right away. I go, hi, is this Gilbert Perreault? And he goes, yes. Oh my God. I even have a cell phone number at the time. And I somehow lost it after, but it's meant to be. It's meant to be the way I look at it. So I call him. I want to, make sure there's a few topics in that conversation I want to remember because, and we talked about a few things. And I remember I used to go to this lounge called Hockey Buzz, and one of the people in there said, Wayne, call him, that wasn't my name, I had another name, but anyway, call him and make sure you ask him what he thinks of the new logo. And I remembered to ask him. So I asked him, I go, Gilbert, what do you think of the new logo? He goes, I don't like it. This is what he said about the slug, I swear to God. And I go, really? He goes, they're not going to keep it. Because that's just marketing. They're going to go back to the old logo eventually. It's what he told me. That was November the 13th, 2006, the exact date, just so you know. So this was after our 05-06 run, and this was early into the 06-07 season. So that's when the Sabres were at their height, right? They were rolling. We started that big start, undefeated and all that. And I asked him, I go, do you think the Sabres are finally going to win the Stanley Cup this year? He goes, without a doubt, they're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. He really believed in that team also. He did. But folks, then the weirdest thing happened in this phone call, okay? I'm going to end the video on this because this wasn't a happy thing when this happened. He goes, we're talking and we're having a good conversation. And all of a sudden he goes, look, I'm really sorry you're sick. I go, what? And then right away, I just thought I had visions of grabbing my accountant his neck. And I'm like, I'm not sick, Gilbert. But then I talked about my ex, that she was struggling in life with something, and I was able to divert the conversation at least to some level of honesty. And I was like, oh my God. So I still to this day don't know what he told him, but we had a really good talk. We really did. I talked to him for at least about 15 minutes, thanked him for the memories, and told him he was my hero. And I told him I still have dreams of the French Connection winning the Stanley Cup. And he laughed. He goes, so do I. They came so close, right? And but here's the kicker. After all this, and I managed to get around this whole sick thing, after we hang up, and I didn't want to keep him on too long either. I said, okay, listen, I want to thank you for your time. Like, I'm sure you got other things to do, whatever. I did the polite thing, and I killed the conversation because he could tell he's not going to do it unless I do it, So I was like, I'm going to cut the conversation. And also, there's one more thing I want to mention. Anyway, but so I told him basically, thank you. Thanks for the memories. I swear to God, folks, after I get off the phone, I'm checking his statistics. Wouldn't you know my luck? It was his birthday. I said, oh my God, I got to call him back. How dumb I felt? I said, what are the odds of that? That I finally call him, and not only do I call him and bug him maybe at his dinner, I call him at his birthday. Oh my God, And I called him back. I said, Gilbert, look, I am so sorry to call you back. I said, I just realized something. I didn't even know, and I feel like an idiot. He goes, what? I go, I see it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And he just goes, he goes, thanks. He was so nice, And that's my Gilbert Perreault story. Now, one last one I just thought of. I didn't even write it down. I just thought of it. I was at the mall one day buying my lottery tickets. Some of you might know this one too. And in Montreal, Mike Bossy was big. He's from Montreal, so and he was big in the potato chip industry. And I was buying my lottery tickets, and I said, "Holy Christ, that is Mike Bossy." I'm looking, that's Mike Bossy. You know, I recognized him right away. So I went up to him, started talking to him, shook hands with him. That's back in the day when you could go shake somebody's hands and they wouldn't go like this, you know. And he looked at me all weird, like I think he thought I was some rival in the potato chip industry. I really do. I don't think he thought I was a hockey fan because he looked at me all weird. I said, "You're the greatest goal scorer I've ever seen in my entire life," you know? And he just laughed, almost relieved, and he goes, "Thanks a lot," you know? And we started talking. And I told him how, you know, I always kind of rooted on the Islanders when the Sabres were out, and told him I thought what a great dynasty that was and things like that, you know. And I told him I had a buddy that loves the Islanders still to this day. And he just looked at me, he goes, "God, that's not a good thing." And he just exploded laughing. Old school. He just laughed about the state of the team, man. He just did. He was honest, you know. And yeah, that's just another little hockey story I want to toss in there. Okay, so I want to stop it there, folks. I don't want to drag it out any longer. These are just thoughts I wanted to like put out there. So if you ever hear me mentioning a story inside a video, you'll maybe remember I mentioned it in this. You know, who knows? So let me know. I'm going to say it in a video for a change. Let me know below. What's your hockey story? Because I'm sure I would love to read tons of stories about what happened with Sabre fans. My God, it'd probably be like, you know, I'm sure I'd be envious, and so many stories you guys are going to let me know down below. I mean, my God, you know. Okay, that's it, folks. I'm going to cut the video there and see if my brain rattles into another video later. If not, it doesn't. If it does, it does, you know. But I just want to touch base with you. Share a little bit about this because, you know, that Perreault story and that you know, that Jean Beliveau story, always, these stories stand out in my life as you know, hockey, how much just I love this game, you know, just how much I love this game. All right, take care, folks. I'll see you all later. Have a good one.